Hey, Fae friends, it is Fairy Princess Lolly here, and I am going to be doing tonight a DIY, or at least the recreation of a DIY, for making blush rose petals. You may have seen this, where effectively the rose petals are used as the distributor of the blush. So I thought this was a really pretty idea and I wanted to try it. I also wanted to give it a little bit of a magical twist. Because that's what we do here when we're fairies. So the first step to this, and I'll tell you as we go along the way here. Oh, I forgot one thing. That was my cup for the mashing. So just to go over the things that you'll need really fast. You'll need a cup. You will need some fake flower petals. They can be any type of flower petal. These happen to be silk ones that I got at a craft store, probably at half price or something on sale. I actually brought out some different colors, white, red, and black, so that we can see what it looks like when it's done. Now you'll also need you'll need some kind of skin sensitive very thin face cream. You will need blush that you're willing to destroy, at least for the time being, initially destroy. A couple of different brushes here that you can use. This one is a paint brush, but if you are into makeup, then you probably already know that those really nice paint brushes out there do a very fine job of doubling as makeup brushes. I got all of these blushes at the dollar store, so they're quite inexpensive. You'll need a place to put them when they're done, and that's what I have this tinfoil cookie sheet for, and then this is going to be the bowl for when they're finished. Since you're supposed to wait for these to dry, and it takes up to an hour, I also brought a blow dryer so as to expedite that process. And hopefully we can at least get one or two of them dry enough that I can give it a try by the time we're done. So step number one is to take your bowl that you have here, and I can set these aside, and then take whichever of your blushes. I'll just open this. This is the last one that I have here that's unopened. So take whichever of these you have. Now you can also, for your flower petals, you can cut those apart too if you get some. So basically open up your blush, and then you're going to want to dig it out of here. And so this is my unicorn makeup brush. It's all rainbow colored, and it has kind of a sharp pointy end, so I'm going to try to dig this out of here. I got different colors because I didn't really know how well they would mix together. Now I hope you can see what I'm doing here, so I'll try to do this in a fashion that is visible. So this actually breaks up pretty nicely all on its own when it's coming out. Now, as you can see, I bought several of these because I didn't really think that was that much blush. So I bought multiples so that we could just have plenty to work with. Oh, plenty, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that, to make a mess with. As we all know, that is effectively what doing this kind of thing really is. It is just a fancy way to say, I'm going to make a mess today. And then I'm going to hope that the house brownies are not angry with me and are willing to clean it up. So, it might actually be enough to just have these three, and then I can make some different colors, perhaps. Let's see. Here we go. And this would be such a fun a really nice little present to give to somebody when it's all done, to wrap it up and give it away. I don't really need these, so into the garbage those go. All right, so after you have your blush, I mean, we're making it into kind of a paint paste here, so I hope that this is going to be enough. I'm going to try to mush it now, and that's why I brought this one, because it has a little bit wider end. You can see me doing this here. It's kind of got some big chunks in there, and I'm just sort of trying to mash those up. I'm currently pondering getting something with a wider end on it to do this job with. I'm trying to think of what I might have around that would do that trick. And I can't. I don't know. Butter knife. Not enough. Something that's kind of flat, wide. The end of a rolling pin would work, but I don't have a rolling pin. There might be a rolling pin around here, but if there is, I don't know where it's at. I don't do the cooking. It's a public service that I don't do the cooking. You want me to mix ingredients in order to make something? I can do that. If you want that something to be edible, I am not the fairy for you. I'm guessing with many of the other tutorials that I saw on this that I can do a little bit of improv. You know, I'm thinking that that's going to be plenty actually, so I'm not going to add anything else. I really do want to pat that down if I can though, because it's still a little bit chunky. Let's see. This is kind of flat. Maybe that can get in there. This is just a teeny tiny little measuring cup that I have that I actually use for making snow potion. Okay. Next time I make snow potion, it might come out slightly pink, I suppose. I'll wipe that off. Okay. So the next step here is to make this into a paste using your lotion. So this is actually, you can kind of see it's pretty runny. It's very thin as far as facial lotion goes because it is Dr. Carver's Miracle Repair Serum. You're supposed to put it on your chin after you shave. I don't really shave my chin though, and so I have nearly a whole bottle of it sitting around. So let's see if I can, let's see how well this mixes up. Yeah. Mixes up pretty good. It's kind of making itself into a sort of a cookie dough looking, batter looking. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll have to add some more of that. I'm definitely going to have to find something, though, that will mix this together better. Oh, I used the wrong one. No wonder. Derp. Silly me. That's okay. That's why I have my trusty paper towel here. Ugh. Phooey. What was I thinking? I used my unicorn horn blush brush. Okay, add a little bit more. Mix that together. I'm going to step over here, right out of the way for just a minute to get a spoon, I think, and give a spoon a try. I fear the spoon will be too wide to get in there very well, though. So this is supposed to be rose petal blush. Okay, so yes, you can see there it's sort of pasting up like that with the addition of the, now this is where, because it's supposed to be rose petal blush, I decided that it probably wouldn't hurt to add just a teeny tiny little bit of rose petal fragrance. And the way that I decided to do that was by using this rose water, which you can get at usually grocery stores where they sell fancy stuff. So I just have, so it's very, very rose scented and fragrant, and probably won't take very much. This is just a glass rod, and I'm just going to dip it in there and give myself a couple little shakes. Set that aside. Not even going to pour it because it really is super fragrant. Oh, it smells good though. Usually it's used for flavoring and cooking, and I often use it if I have rose tea. I just do exactly what you saw me do here into my tea, and there we go. Held it sideways for too long. And so I thought, you know, one of the magics of fairy is invoking all of your senses. And so aromatherapy, it really reaches out, and our sense of smell is actually our strongest our strongest sense that we have. The one that has for most of history lent towards keeping us alive is actually our sense of smell, and it is tied very, very heavily to our memory. If you just think, for example, about the last time you smelled really delicious pizza or bread, maybe, or something common, and you can probably call to mind when that was. That is one of the advantages of that. So I really like to invoke, and of course we all know that the roses, it's a fragrance of love and passion, friendship. So also good since we've just passed Easter and Imbolc has already come and gone. The spring equinox has come and gone. So we are definitely in the springtime, and that seems good for flowers. So this is definitely pasty at this point, but it's not really pasty in a way I think I can brush it. It looked much soupier in some of the videos that I saw, but we're gonna give it a go anyway. Let's see here. Get that mixed in there really well. Mixed up pretty good. I might give it a try here. Now, the one other thing that I want to just add the tiniest little dollop to with this is, believe it or not, uh-oh, that's my broken one. I have some Midsummer Full Moon, this will work, Midsummer Full Moon Charged Water. Midsummer is, of course, still a couple of months away. I had to rinse this off here. I need an eyedropper in order to get my midsummer water. There we go. It is in this bottle here. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of this. You may or may not know, midsummer is one of the, perhaps you do, celebrated by Shakespeare, heavily associated with the Fae. One of their fun gaming holidays. And so I'm just going to add a little bit of midsummer water in here. See how that lightens it up, maybe. This is water that has been charged under the midsummer full moon, and I use that when I'm making magical potions. It's definitely a time where the veils are thin and it's a little bit easier to get into the realm of Fae, to open the gates, to see the Fae and communicate with them. So it's one of those times where you just imagine the will-o-wisps glowing in the night, maybe some bonfires, maybe some bonfires. So it's really pasty now, as opposed to being, I guess, a little runnier, more like a paint, but it's still kind of pasty, and so I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know, I feel like it has to just be a little bit runnier. I'm gonna add some regular water, I think, just a tiny bit. So in order to just verify this, I got that rose water. Let me smell it. Oh man, it smells really good. Not like synthetic makeup. I'm going to put actually a little bit more rose water in there, so it has, that way the smell will definitely stick with it. And once again, I'm just using a glass dowel. I'm dipping it into the rose water and just dropping it in there. You don't even really need to pour a great amount. So let's see, now it's starting to look a little more paint-like. All right. Do not show this to your childlings if you don't want them to make a mess. But if you do want them to make a mess, this is definitely one of the ways I'm sure you could go about it. Of course, they'll probably make a mess with your makeup, so you should be careful. Okay. That's a little bit more spreadable, I think. All right, so now we're going to really give it a go. And I'm going to actually start with one of these white rose petals. That way we can really see it being spread on. I'll pull out some of those. Move this over right here. And we'll take this brush. This is just a nice wide paintbrush, so hopefully it can, oh, it's getting on there. Look at that. It's getting nice and loaded up on the paintbrush, and now we'll give it a try here on this. And we're gonna just brush this on here. All right, so as with anything that is paint-like, be prepared to have this on your hands. Now the thinner that you work this paste down into, I can guarantee you, the smoother it is going to go on to this. I think I might, that was really, really thick. So, but it actually turned out all right. I'm going to try to water it down a little bit more. So that is really quite thick on there. And then I'm going to do the back side here in a minute after I give it a little bit more water. And then eventually this will dry and we'll be able to use the blush directly off of that petal. So let's just add a little bit more water. I'm just using regular tap water to do this in the same way that you would water down any of your paints. I suppose if you wanted to get really fancy, you could use distilled water. But at least up here in the Kingdom of Storms, we have good water out of our tap, so pretty safe to use. Getting that a little soupier. Yes, I like that. Okay. Remember, this is mixed with really gentle facial lotion / serum. Okay. We'll give that a try then onto the back of this one. I do have my chat open here, so if you have questions or you want to say something, I have my chat over here. I can read off to the side. So, here we go. That's much easier. Okay, spreading on there now, really nice. And then I'll just lay that down. I really like how you can see the pink up against the white. Although now I'm wishing, even though those big blush boxes were easy to break up and get out, I'm sort of wishing I had used a lighter color of pink on this white rose. So in a second, you can kind of see this has veins in it. I think I'm gonna try to get those veins to stand out. Painting the back side of it. I am going to have the prettiest, pinkest fingers ever. Oh, That's frustrating how I got little fingerprints on there. It just doesn't really matter. It won't matter once it all gets together in the end. But so let's give this a try on some different colors and see what this looks like. So this one's red. We're gonna mix it up here. Oh, yeah, you can see that. Pretty blatant. I'm noticing too that when I get little clumps in here, that the little clumps are brushing out as I brush them. So I used 3 of these, and I think that 3 of these blush boxes that I got from the dollar store is, I mean, there's a lot in there. That is more than enough to fill up a bowl of these. There we go. Alright, we'll try the black one next, I think. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what happened just there. So I turned it over and I had it held on my fingers, and when I flipped it, it sort of peeled some of that off there. Okay, so what this is telling me is that it's probably best to not hold it in my hand while I do that. We're gonna try an alternative technique here to get that spread. Just give me one moment. Reach over here. So I'm gonna try using this plate and doing it like this, seeing how this works. Now, where could I want this to be a little bit closer to you guys. I'm gonna move the camera down. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that there with my thumb, and I'm just going to brush that on the plate. Definitely works better when it's thinner. We'll flop that over, and then we'll see if it does that same boo hiss on the backside. Now that could be because it's actually drying and it's thick. It could be because of the fabric that these rose petals are made out of. Here we go. So, yeah, look at that, still sticking. I am not sure how to circumvent that issue other than to, I don't know, not press too hard, I guess. So let's give black. This is for all my gothy slua out there. I don't know why they would be wearing pink makeup instead of black and white makeup, but you know, maybe they're going to a fancy fall. Okay. Man, that shows up really nice, doesn't it? Look at that. Woohoo. Okay. Don't touch too much. That side. That side. Okay. There we go. All right. This will be fun. I intend to save all of these, and the ones that I'm going to use this until it's done. I might not do all of them right here with you guys because we want to give it a try. I do need to do a few more though, and then I'll save them all, and when they're all done, those of you who are patrons on my Patreon channel and who get dross boxes from me every month, I'm going to put some of these into your dross box. And then you can have, oh man, some of your very own delicious rose smelling, well, fairy blush. Magical fairy blush. So this is what I've been doing to try to even out that, you know, the issue. Just kind of back and forth, flip-flopping it, and that actually seems to be working all right. Yes, it does. Kind of. So this one is a different material than these other ones, and it's not sticking as well. Let's see. Okay. Now you can see how this has kind of this veining on it. I'm going to try something here. So dipping this into my blush that I've got here, and I'm really just going to thin it out, blot it out quite a lot. See if I can just paint that on there and get the veins to pop. I don't know if I can. They might not be deep enough, but I mean pronounced enough. Ooh, ooh, that looks all right. Look at that. Get those in there. Looks fascinating. Kind of flubbed it right there, but certainly interesting looking. It might look, oh, the black ones don't really have the veins though. It would look really cool on the black ones. Okay, let's do another black one. I don't want to leave anybody out. Oops, I think I have 2 in 1 here. I do. Oh, interesting. When I pulled those apart, I can see here that it sort of goes through. I wonder if the more paint-like you have this, the runnier you have it essentially, I wonder if you even need to do both sides. If you just do one side really heavy, it'll go through to the other. Let's see. I just really like how the contrast on these black ones, very Morticia Adams, something to that effect. I don't know. Okay. There we go. All right. Oops. Yeah. I have this all over my fingers now. I don't really know how many I need to put together in order to fill a bowl, but I have this tiny little bowl here. And now I just turned the oven on because I thought, well, it takes a while to do this, and while it's taking a while to do this, I wonder if instead of using that blow dryer, if I was to just stick the tray into the oven and put each of them in there, it would probably dry out quite fast. I don't think it will make any difference at all how they dry, whether they dry in open air, as long as it's a low heat, not something that would catch them on fire or cause them to spontaneously combust. That's going to be bad. I'm pretty sure we can all agree there. Unless you're a firebug, then you'll think it's sad that you can't set everything in the world on fire. But as long as it's a nice low heat, we're not talking about any kind of, it wouldn't matter if it bubbled, for example, the way that paint can bubble if you blow dry it, or heat it up too fast. You're not going to warp or ruin any of the material that's being used, short of it catching on fire. Okay, so these red ones really, and so when you go to get your own, I'm gonna try to describe what this fabric feels like, because these red ones are the worst. The black ones and the white ones, this fabric is really good. This is, on one side, it has that sort of false velvety or maybe felty feel, and then on this side it's just kind of synthetic, but it's this sort of faux felty feel petal that is really not taking it well, not taking the blush mixture very well. So I'm going to actually stop using those and give these give a couple of these dry. We'll see if we can get it to work with just one or two, and then I can do the rest later on. I'm going to go ahead and edit this video down here when we're done, and I will put that onto my Patreon channel as a DIY. And if you're interested in supporting, then you can go there and contribute, subscribe, whatever you want. Leave comments. All of it is helpful. And that is patreon.com/FayeProductions. Oh, it smells so good. I can smell the rose, and it is just that little tiny hint of magical, just the way fairies are. Just that little light in the corner of your eye. That thing that you thought you saw, but when you looked back, it was gone. That's just the hint, the suggestion. Now I'm putting this one on really thick because I want to see just how thick we can go. Pretty thick, I suppose. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these now and see if I can give them a blow dry. This Yawn blow dryer, I mean, this is surely drying here already, so I should be able to dry some of these petals out. Okay, plug this in. And grab one of these. I'm sorry if this is loud. You know, I should... Oh. Well, that wasn't loud at all. That was a blow dryer not working. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh! Okay. It works. Yeah. That was loud. Okay. Here we go. As I blow everything everywhere. Let's see. I want to do this kind of where you guys can see it. I don't know if you can hear me over the blow dryer, but I'm trying to do it where you guys can see it. Ah! Oh! Okay, I'm definitely blowing everything everywhere. Oh! And yes, using a blow dryer definitely expedites this process. So, once it's blow dried, put it in a thing like that. Oh my goodness, I have made a mess. I think what I really need here is a pair of tongs so that I can hold this hold it at a bit of a distance. And okay, now let's see. Got these tongs here. I'm actually gonna try to load up more than one of these. There we go. Oh. I'm sure it will surprise nobody that I don't ever actually use this blow dryer on my hair, so I'm not really very good with it. Okay. I'm not sure I actually use any of the human tools for the things that they're supposed to be used for. No! Okay. Really bad at this. Really bad. Woo! Oh boy. Okay. This is how you learn. I don't ever actually even do this with my own hair. I just let my hair dry. Okay. Wow, that sure does stay on there pretty good. I think that blush gets down into the fabric and then it's in there. Try drying this red one out. This is the one that I don't like that fabric on. Yes, that one's already trying to cake off. I'm unsurprised. This will actually also help my fingers to not get burnt from being so close to the heat, I suppose. Okay. So now I've got a few of them built up here. And I think that may be enough. I'm trying to get all of these guys that I blew all over the place. I think one of them may have actually even gone behind this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put these into, oh, a little thing that probably shouldn't be in the oven. Okay, whoops. Always check the oven before putting things in there. So, you're supposed to then take it and you put all of your little petals, preferably into a nice pretty little bowl. Let me see how dry these are. These are still a little bit wet, but I think it will work. Then you take your blush brush, and now instead of using your blush brush in one of these like this, you use it in this, in the same exact way. La 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 la. Kind of mix it around in there, and let's see if we can. It's hard to tell if it's there on the end of that brush. You can definitely see it coming off, but these are, oh yeah, you can see. That's nice, definitely pinker. Of course, I only have a few petals in here to work with, so when this is done, it's in a nice big bowl filled with petals. You can really get that in there, get it around. Okay, we're gonna give it a try. Let's see. Where's my camera? Oops, I thought I hit the button. Ha ha ha. Okay. Ooh, yeah, you can see it going on. Definitely you can see that. That is super fun. I love it. Magical, and my cheeks have just the littlest hint of rose. You know, I've been asked before, why do you make that funny face when you put on blush? Why do girls do that? That's so we can see this bone right here. Yeah, you can definitely see. Look at that. That's great. I'm just back here. Really pink on there. That's fun. Alright, my fairy friends, if you are on my Patreon and you get fun fairy gifts from me, this is going to be one of the fun little things that you guys are going to get in your next boxes. So I hope everybody had fun with this tutorial. If you did, please click the like and subscribe button, and if you're feeling generous, hop on over to Patreon and subscribe there or follow there. Either one is amazing and they really help support in my work, and I hope you guys all have a lovely evening. I will see you all in